As we heard earlier today from Sansara Taylor and Annie Day, today's program comes in the middle of a week where the RevComs around the country are working with people to put revolution on the map, to make known what it's all about, and to organize people into the revolution, to help spread and support the revolution, and to join with RevComs in standing up against the attacks against the people, whether from the government's forces of repression or from the fascist thugs. And we have a guide to this revolution, a strategic orientation and practical plan. And strategic orientation simply means the way that we can achieve the objectives and the goals of this revolution to emancipate all of humanity. This piece on revcom.us is a guide that says this, quote, "We are working every day to win growing numbers of people to understand the urgent need and the possibility for revolution and to become an organized force that can shake up the whole country, waking people up and changing the way they think about things, working continually to gather forces and build up the organized strength of the revolution, working to powerfully impact the development of things in such a way that a situation can come about where there could be an all-out fight for revolution with a real chance to win." So now I want to welcome Joe Veale, a frequent guest to the RNL show, a longtime revolutionary. Joe was a rank-and-file member of the Black Panther Party, and after a stint in prison, he became a revolutionary communist and a follower of the revolutionary leader Bob Avakian. And today, Joe plays an active role in promoting Bob Avakian's leadership and the new communism. And we invited Joe to the RNL show's studio today to talk about the points of attention for the revolution. So welcome, Joe Veale.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, good. I know you have a lot to say about the points of attention, about what we live by in the revolution, what we fight for today, and how they concentrate the kind of relationships between people in the new society that the revolution is going to bring about. But before we get into a conversation about what these points say and what they're all about, let's actually listen to a reading of the 6 points of attention.
Points of attention for the revolution. Live by and fight for the points of attention. The code of the revolution. 1. We base ourselves on and strive to represent the highest interest of humanity, revolution and communism. We do not tolerate using the revolution for personal gain. 2. We fight for a world where all the chains are broken. Women, men, and differently gendered people are equals and comrades. We do not tolerate physically or verbally abusing women or treating them as sexual objects, nor do we tolerate insults or jokes about people's gender or sexual orientation. 3. We fight for a world without borders and for equality among different peoples, cultures, and languages. We do not tolerate insults, jokes, or derogatory names about a person's race, nationality, or language. 4. We stand with the most oppressed and never lose sight of their potential to emancipate humanity, nor of our responsibility to lead them to do that. We work to win people of all backgrounds to take part in the revolution and do not tolerate revenge among the people. 5. We search for and fight for the truth no matter how unpopular, even as we listen to and learn from the observations, insights, and criticisms of others. 6. We are going for an actual overthrow of this system and a whole better way beyond the destructive, vicious conflicts of today between the people. Because we are serious, at this stage, we do not initiate violence, and we oppose all violence against the people and among the people.
All right, so Joe, so let's get into these. How do you see it?
I see these, it's critical, it's very important, the points of attention for the revolution. Points to live by and fight for, these points of attention. The code is the code of the revolution. And, and people see, you developing a force, leading a force out in society that's based on these codes of attention, which represent a whole new way of living, which represents what the revolution is all about, the emancipation of humanity. And people are representing like that, like today, and fighting the power, standing up against the power, and transforming themselves and others for revolution. This has a tremendous impact on helping to develop the situation and one that is more fully developed to be able to go for revolution and go for a whole new society. And so we base ourselves on these points of attention, and we strive to represent the highest interests of humanity, which is revolution and communism. And we do not use the revolution for any personal gain, for me, my, get mine, whatever like this here. This is about something much bigger, much more fundamental. It's about humanity, and humanity getting free from the bullshit the madness of this capitalist imperialist system here and all over the world. That's a very big deal, And I think back, it's not the same thing, but there are lessons to learn. And, when I think back to, seeing the Panthers, the Black Panther Party out there, they had their codes that they lived by, and they were a disciplined, organized force that were out there standing up against, but especially the police murder, brutality against Black people. And they did it in a very organized and disciplined way. They were in uniform, and they were, and they moved together, and they looked out for each other, and they looked out for the masses and stuff. When you saw this had a big impact on you, because you never seen something like this here before. What is this about? What do they represent? What do they understand that I don't understand, but what I need to understand? It challenged you and it inspired you in that way. But, and so that was really like powerful and impactful. Just seeing that, witnessing that, it was really electrifying. It lit up the sky. Hey, there's something it's new here. There's a new authority. It's on the scene. And it was a revolutionary authority on the scene. And today we got something way beyond anything the Panthers had, with these points of attention and with the leadership of Bob Avakian. We never had anything like this here before on this level, with this understanding. It's so thoroughly scientific about the whole revolutionary process from beginning to end, and being able to see it and guide it all the way through. It's never has been. We had leaders before, but we never had a leader like Bob Avakian. This is really historic. It's epic in this society and shit. There's only been a few like him in the world history, and we got him now here today with us, leading us, and that these points of attention is based on that vision and that understanding that has been developed by Bob Avakian.
I think it's important, Joe. Let's just talk about two of these or pick one of them, but I just think this fourth point of attention: we stand with the most oppressed and never lose sight of their potential to emancipate humanity, nor our responsibility to lead them to do that. We work to win people of all backgrounds to take part in the revolution and do not tolerate revenge among the people. This is part of that newness that you were talking about.
This is way beyond anything that has existed like before. But this is it's challenging, but it's also inspiring, because people cannot on their own emancipate and liberate like themselves. It takes leadership. On their own, people will go for revenge. You see it. It was really inspiring when you see like youth caught up like in the game, like shit like that, and they try to do like truce. They try to like come together because they aspire for something better, for something different and stuff. But they aspire on the same principles, the same points of attention, so to say, that come from this system, where they try to, become like entrepreneurs or whatever, get some business like going. Well, you're going to have to end up, if you are successful, you have to end up exploiting, using some other like people in order for you like to get ahead. Or if you're like, especially like, some youth caught up all into their identity, my truth, I got my truth, you got like your truth. And then all that, what does that like lead? To you like trying to impose what you like think on the rest of society and shit. Your experience and making everybody bow down and go along with that. That's just another form of revenge. Of the last shall be first and the first shall be like last and shit. Instead of like uprooting, getting to the roots of oppression. Getting to the roots of it and being able to uproot it and eliminate it and overthrow it. And that's really like the key thing.
Joe, when we started talking, you spoke about point of attention number one, and the point of we do not tolerate using the revolution for personal gain. And when we were chatting before we began filming, you told a story about how you had to confront that in your experience in getting into the Black Panther Party. And a lot of the crew found that like, whoa, that's a pretty good story. So maybe you could just tell that again for our audience.
Yeah, well, at that time, the Black Panther Party, they had that, these points of attention that they got from Mao and stuff. And one of them was Mao Zedong, right? Leader of the Communist Revolution in China. And, I just remember, very vividly, because they, they were, presenting them to me. One of them, do not take anything from the masses. Not even a needle or a piece of thread. And I just remember responding to them that it's no way that I'm, going to be part of anything about that, because the only thing I will not take from the masses is a needle or a piece of thread and shit. But that didn't, so there was a big struggle, like for me, to rupture. I had to change how I was, because they didn't stop. The Panthers didn't like stop. They still, they continue like out there, representing in that way and stuff, and and they were putting their lives on the line for that, and that's what they were saying. The revolution was about serving the people and stuff, and and through like and through a lot of like struggle, and then seeing them like out there, how serious they were about that. And they really were an organized force that was, beginning to grow with that. It made me, stop and think and question about what I was doing with my life in comparison to what they was like doing. That it was something that they understood that I needed to understand. I needed to change what the fuck I was like doing and stuff, because I could like see in comparison like to them, what I was like doing was just, going along and basically like just reinforcing relations amongst people that were very destructive and harmful to people being able to make revolution and get free from all the oppression and shit. And so, that was a struggle. That was a leap. That was a change that I had to like make. I had to make it not just once. I had to repeatedly make it, because it came up again and again and again as I leaped. As I changed once, I had to change even like further and stuff. I had to continue that to finally, when I ran into B.A., Baba Bakian in prison and stuff, and I seen how, how he approached revolution, how scientific and how systematic he was about it, then that's when I made the final rupture with that way like of thinking and shit like that. Because up until that point, I was still kind of conflicted. Even though I wanted revolution, I still wanted to rip off some motherfuckers like too. The way I was like looking at like things and stuff. So
Following up on that, Joe, I want to play a clip from the film by Bob Avakian, Why We Need an Actual Revolution and How We Could Really Make Revolution, where he's speaking about the gangs. Let's watch this.
It has been raised that when How We Can Win insists that the authority people look to cannot be those who turn people against each other when they need to be uniting for this revolution. It is talking about gangs, among others. Well, in making this revolution, we are not going out to make an enemy out of the gangs. We are working to win people to revolution and to build up the forces for this revolution, in line with what is concentrated in the points of attention for the revolution, to put an end to everything that enslaves and degrades people, including all the conditions that have led to the creation of gangs in the first place, and the situation where so many of our youth are fighting and killing each other. And let everyone decide where they stand in relation to this revolution that we are working for. But we need to struggle hard against the way of thinking that says it's everybody for themselves and you got to do what you got to do to get over on everybody else and get big bank and have lots of property, including turning women into property. All of this is just an imitation of the outlook of the oppressor, and it is a big part of what has kept masses of people oppressed and degraded for so long. Once again, All Played Out calls this shit out. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. That craziness about being like Scarface, acting without a trace of humanity, plundering and violating without remorse, killing and dying for no good purpose. Give it up, it's all played out. In thinking about people who have gotten into the life, often from a very early age, I'm reminded of the lines in a song from back in the day by the R&B group The Whispers. Seems like I gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong before they notice me. Well, fuck they.
So, Joe, I think that's really spot on in terms of the kind of force we're trying to build out in the neighborhoods and all through society with these points of attention as a modeling a different way to live and a different future to fight for.
Yeah, and in doing that, I don't think we can't give any quarter to this bullshit about about me. I got to get paid. I got to get my mind. Degrading women. All the misogyny, the hatred of women and using women, turning everything into property and shit like this here and justifying it that, I'm just trying to come up. I'm just trying to get over whatever. We need a force for revolution, nothing less. A force that's out there in contention with everything else, that everybody has to relate to this. This is about revolution. This is about overthrowing this monster of a system. This is about bringing about a whole new system where people relate to each other in a whole different ways and shit, without all that dog eat dog, without dogging each other out and shit, giving no quarter to anything else, not being liberal, not going along with. That shit has no place in the revolution. It does no good in terms of helping to strengthen, to build up the forces for revolution. Actually, it hurts to weaken. If we bow down to that shit, then we weaken in revolution. But if you have a force that's out here that everybody has to relate to, that's about this, about these points of attention and nothing else, then that challenges everybody. Everybody has to take notice. Everybody has to decide how are they going to relate to this and nothing else. How each and every, even the people that's caught up in the bullshit today have to do like what I did. Begin to question that shit and say, what the fuck am I doing and shit? This shit is harmful to the masses of people. Harmful to them being able to get emancipated. I need to do something else with my life, and I can, because I see these people out here organized and representing in this way.
All right. So, Joe, you said that, and now let's go.